So, this is probably my first ever video where I'm just gonna express myself the way I want to about something that interests me. And the topic of choice today is fragmentation. The first time I came across the idea of it, the concept of it, was when I was in therapy many years ago. And I saw a bodywork therapist who had also trained in the classical way. She was also a naturopath, so she was able to prescribe herbal plants and supplements which can support your body and heal you. She was a very interesting lady, and I had quite a few unresolved, I guess, energy spirals going on from the past, which I just couldn't really seem to find peace with. So what this lady did was she helped me go back in time as an objective observer, as I am now, and she stood by me whilst I was watching myself at the time in the situation I was in, which I couldn't reconcile with. And I remember this one specific instant where the memory or the image, the projection I had of myself at that time was really quite, I was so frustrated with that version of me. I didn't like her. I thought she was disgusting. I thought she failed. She was useless. And the therapist, by placing me as I was in the present, looking at the past version of me, I could finally have an objective view and see that actually there was nothing wrong with me at the time. I was really doing the best I could given the circumstances. So, what really is fragmentation? I suppose fragmentation is when we are in situations and we either reject ourselves or an aspect of ourselves, or someone else rejects an aspect of us. And so we kind of discard it and throw it away and want nothing to do with it. So it's as if we take a part of us and we just split it off of us and just kind of abandon it on the wayside. So this process, well, this occurrence, fragmentation, is kind of like you're always missing a part of yourself. And I think it's fair to say that most of us, our wish is to feel whole, to feel one, to be happy, to be at harmony with ourselves. And fragmentation can occur at pretty much any instant in our lives. It can be in our childhood, it can be in teenage years and later years. It's not bound by time or space. So if fragmentation means that we've lost bits and pieces of ourselves, that means at some point it's like taking a basket and we have to go around collecting the bits and pieces and also healing them, because you can't just force them to go with you. You're gonna have to convince them that they want to come with you, that they want to be reintegrated, and that we want them to be part of us again. So the reason I'm talking about fragmentation today is that my yoga practice, especially my heart rest practice, has blessed me with a vision. And so I have to put this into context. But in the last 6 months or so, I've made a conscious decision to go inward rather than outward. I've stopped pushing forward. I've stopped striving for this, for that, looking for things, trying new things. I've decided to look inside myself and to stop doing and kind of start practicing non-doing rather than the energetic manifestation style of living which I've been doing for a long time. And lately I've been feeling, well, in the last year or two, it's almost as if I've been running out of momentum. I've been feeling very exhausted, very strained, a lack of passion, a lack of oomph toward a lot of things that I knew I really wanted to do, but just didn't have it in me somehow to push myself to do something. So the vision I had showed me for the first time that there was an aspect of me which had frozen in time, which kind of had turned to stone. And I hadn't seen it until then. I didn't even know it existed. And this part of me is refusing to go anywhere with me. It's not moving from the spot. And it's kind of like, I suppose you could equate it to lugging dead weight around with you all the time. Because that part of me is not going with me. That part of me is not playing along whatever it is I have planned. And I saw that if I want to do all of the things I would like to do as a whole, I need to heal that part of me. So to give you an idea of what I saw, I made a little sketch. And in my sketch, you can also see that there is hope, because her tears at least are organic. So there must be a way to melt her, to heal her, to give life to that aspect again. And this is now what I'm gonna have to figure out, and which I want to figure out, is how do I heal that part of me? What does she need? What does she want? What was taken away from her? What made her stop? What made her freeze? So what I really feel strongly about is that because of our desire to want to feel whole and to want to feel at peace, and we also have desires to do things, to create things, to be something, to go somewhere. And the last thing we want is to be held back by ourselves. It's bad enough when external circumstances seem to be in the way, but, well, that's a different subject in itself, but if it's me holding myself back, or an aspect of me from the past, which is frozen in time, is holding myself back, that's something which is in our power to work on, and it's something we can influence and we can change, which means there is a really good hope that by going inwards and by internal healing, we can do the things we want and have the life we want, and it enriches us, because it's quite a powerful practice and a powerful experience to reintegrate a part of yourself.